Welcome back to The Explainer. This is the show where we take massive, powerful ideas and just break them right down into visually clear, actionable insights that you can use, like today. I'm absolutely thrilled you're here. So what if I told you that the number one biggest thing holding you back right now? Well, it's not a lack of talent, it's not a lack of money, and it sure isn't a lack of opportunity. It's comparison. Yep. So today we're going to visually deconstruct how to overcome this totally toxic habit of comparing ourselves with others and talk about how we can actually reclaim our own paths. Let's get into it.
Seriously, think about it. Every single day, millions of us open social media and instantly, within seconds, we feel like we're falling behind, right? Somebody just bought a brand new car. Oh, look, someone else got married or started a hugely successful business. You're just scrolling along and bam, you see someone with the perfect body on this pristine luxury vacation, living what looks like the absolute perfect life. And without even realizing you're doing it, you ask yourself this incredibly silent, painful question. Why am I not there yet?
And this brilliantly illustrates the undeniable truth of the whole situation. On one side, you have real life. We're talking the gritty, hidden realities, The failures, the debt, the anxiety, the sleepless nights, and those literal years of unseen struggle. But then on the other side, you've got the highlight reel. The polished perfectionist success, the perfect body, the luxury vacation. The 47th take of a perfectly lit photo. You are literally comparing your messy, incredibly complex real life to someone else's highlight reel. And let me tell you, that is a game you can absolutely never win. Which brings us to part one, the comparison trap.
So look, for thousands of years, comparing ourselves to others actually kept us safe. It's an evolutionary instinct. It helped us figure out where we stood in our environment, and honestly, it kept us motivated. But today? Well, social media has basically turned that occasional instinct into a relentless, full-time habit. Considering the average person spends over 2.5 hours a day just scrolling, think about the sheer volume of information your brain is trying to process. Within a mere 5-minute scroll, you can see a self-made millionaire, a fitness model, a wildly successful entrepreneur, and someone exactly your age who seems to have the whole shebang figured out. Your brain just gets totally tricked. It starts falsely believing that literally everyone is winning except you, all because you're only seeing that final flawless picture.
Moving on to part two, the hidden costs.
Because, you see, comparison steals so much more than just your momentary happiness. It systematically robs you of 4 absolutely critical things. First, it steals your focus. Instead of working on improving yourself, you become completely obsessed with watching everyone else. Second, it steals your confidence. You stop appreciating your own hard-earned progress just because someone else appears to be a few steps ahead. Third, it steals your motivation. That little voice in your head whispering, hey, why even try if someone out there is already better? And fourth, and this is arguably the worst of all, it steals your identity. Your obsession with other people halts your own self-improvement dead in its tracks.
And that loss of identity, it completely shifts how you navigate your entire life. Instead of asking yourself the truly empowering question, what do I want? You start asking this incredibly toxic question, what does everyone else have? Actually, scratch that. It's more like you completely forget what you even wanted in the first place. This shift is devastating. This stolen identity leads people to spend years, sometimes literal decades, chasing goals and dreams that were just never actually theirs to begin with. This leads us right into part 3, your own unique timeline.
Okay, I want you to imagine 2 very different trees. On one side, we have a seed that grows really rapidly into a tall, flexible bamboo. Awesome. Now, on the other side, we have a seed that slowly, over many, many years, becomes this massive, unbelievably strong oak tree. Now, would it make any sense at all for the bamboo to sit there and feel jealous because the oak grows differently? Of course not. That's ridiculous. They exist in completely different environments. They have entirely different timelines, and they have fundamentally different purposes in nature. Both of these are completely valid, beautiful growth patterns.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that when we map this exact concept onto a human timeline, we instantly realize that societal expectations are, frankly, entirely arbitrary. Look at this. Some people hit massive success and build entire companies at age 20. Cool. But then some spend their 30s building beautiful families and living really peaceful lives. And others? They don't reach their absolute peak, massive success, until they hit 40 or way beyond. The point here is that success is not a race against the people on your social media feed. It's a deeply personal, lifelong journey. Honestly, your only true competition is who you were yesterday.
All right, part 4, steps to break free. Okay, let's dive into this. Because knowing all of this logically is one thing, but actually practicing it, that's a whole different ballgame. So here's your actionable 4-part rescue plan for breaking completely free from the comparison trap. Step 1, we redefine our comparison. Step 2, we curate our environment. Step 3, we shift our mindset. And Step 4, we change our daily actions. Let's break these down one by one right now so you can start applying them immediately.
Step 1 is entirely encapsulated in this tiny yet incredibly powerful number, 1%. Literally just forget everyone else on the internet for a second. Ask yourself this: am I better than I was 6 months ago? Did I learn something new? Did I become just a little bit healthier? Did I become a bit more disciplined? These small personal improvements are what actually matter in the real world. Aiming to be just 1% better every single day, that is what creates massive, sustainable, undeniable change over time.
Then we have step 2, which is a vital, much-needed reality check. People upload victories. Nobody, and I mean nobody, posts ordinary Tuesdays. Social media is just not reality. Absolutely no one is out there posting pictures of themselves eating cold, soggy oatmeal at 7 a.m. or documenting their daily professional rejections, right? If endless scrolling is making you feel worse about yourself, you need to take a break. Limit your intake. Guard your attention. Protecting your peace of mind is vastly more valuable than mindlessly consuming someone else's highly curated victories.
Now, step 3 requires some active effort. Practice gratitude. I highly suggest a daily morning routine where you actually write down these specific points. Just take a second and focus on your health, your family, your education, and your own unique opportunities. Gratitude is such a powerful psychological tool because it forcefully shifts your brain's focus away from what you currently lack straight to the absolute abundance you already possess. When you truly, deeply appreciate your own life, you just naturally stop envying someone else's.
And that brings us to step 4, the action phase. Focus on building, not watching. Read, learn, exercise, start, study, write, create. Seriously, let this sink in for a second. Every single minute you spend comparing yourself to someone else is a literal minute you are not improving yourself. The people you admire the most, the exact ones you're probably comparing yourself to right now, they didn't become successful by sitting around watching others. No way. They became successful by putting their heads down and working on themselves. Successful people build rather than watch.
Which leads perfectly into our final section, Part 5, Look Forward, Not Sideways.
To truly cement everything we've talked about today, I want you to imagine 2 runners in a really high-stakes race. Runner number 1 keeps turning his head, looking sideways to see exactly where everyone else is, checking their pace, looking at their stride. Meanwhile, runner number 2, she keeps her eyes locked dead ahead on the finish line, looking straight forward. Now, who do you think reaches the finish line first? I mean, it's obvious, right? The truth is that looking sideways physically slows you down. Looking forward is what actually moves you ahead. And you know what? Life works exactly the same way. The very moment you stop competing with everyone else on the track, you become totally free to move ahead and become your absolute best self.
Which brings us to this empowering, frankly irrefutable conclusion. Someone will always be richer than you. Someone's going to be smarter. Someone will always be more attractive. Honestly, that is just a statistical guarantee. But remember this, no one can become the best version of you except you. You just have to stop comparing and start improving. Your entire future depends entirely on what you choose to do today.
And that leaves us with the single most important part of this entire explainer, what you decide to do next. So what is one thing you are going to stop comparing yourself about starting today? Take a second, really identify it, and just let it go. It's time to get off the sidelines, stop watching everyone else, and go build your own incredibly unique life. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.